Good morning. This is Derek Dodge with Interstate Roofing. We are conducting a repair attempt here at the Pesto residence, 170 Pruitt Drive in Alpharetta, Georgia. It is the 31st of October 2024. We're doing a spooky repair on the front slope. You can see that I have identified the wind damage shingle. We can see the clear creasing across the top. I've denoted it with an X, as well as identifying the course that it belongs to. So State Farm has said that they will pay for repairs. So what we're going to try to attempt to do is a repair to see if this roof is repairable. So of important note, you can see that in the two courses adjacent to this wind damage shingle, we have currently no damage to the shingles whatsoever. So what I have to do for this repair is I have to break the tar strips. I have to remove the old nails, take out the wind damage shingle, replace it with a like and kind quality shingle, fasten it back down to the roof, and then inspect whether or not consequential damage has happened as a result. So I'm going to be doing my utmost to make sure that I'm not overtly manipulating the shingles. So what I'd like to do is establish a baseline of what 45 degrees is. It's hard to tell when you're just on a computer screen looking, and I've heard adjusters say when I've lifted a shingle 30 degrees that I'm lifting it 90. So I just want to make sure that everyone is well aware of what I'm doing. Okay, so this is a speed square. We use this in all sorts of applications in construction. One great application we use this for is finding angles. So this is what we call the pivot point. So you would put this there to determine what an angle is. So this is a wind damage shingle, so we don't have to worry. We're going to replace this one. We don't have to worry about damaging it. So I'm going to lift this to a 45-degree angle. This is a 45-degree angle. I'm going to zoom in. You can take this opportunity to take a screenshot of the shingle. I'm going to go back here. You can take another screenshot of that. That's 45 degrees. So I don't need to lift the shingles any more than that, but 45 degrees is a good baseline of where we're going to go. So I'm not going to lift this more than a 45. And there's the proof that if you see a shingle that's lifted past that, take a screenshot and tell me that I'm full of crap. But I won't need to do that. I don't need to lift it. I'm going to be using a flat pry bar to break the tar strips and remove the nails. I'm going to be using a mag hatch to fasten the shingle back down. Some adjusters say use a snake. I don't use a snake. I'm a contractor. I'm a real roofer. Roofers don't use snakes. I understand the concept of a snake because when you have a snake, you only have to like lift it this high. The nail is here, and where you're striking with your hammer is here. The issue is when a roof is not repairable, it's not repairable. So when you have a snake and the roof's aging condition is really brittle, when you're hammering here, you're putting such immense pressure and force with the strike down that you just cause damage lower. So instead of having the damage up here in these two courses above, you'll just trade it for lower. So we're just trading damage for damage. If a roof isn't repairable, it's not repairable. And by the end of this repair, you will know whether or not this roof is repairable. So now that I've explained what I'm going to do, let's just go ahead and do it. Put my trusty gloves on. It's about 65 degrees outside. It's nice and cool. It's not too cool. So we're going to break the tar strips. It's nice and cool so the tar strip doesn't fight it. It's really easy to break these. Okay, so now that the tar strips have been broken, let me adjust this real quick. Okay, tar strips have been broken. Now we can remove the old nails. As you can see, I don't need to lift the shingles very high. You can see rusted nail. So water's definitely been getting these nails. It's good that they're holding on so tight to the decking. It's also good that I see that there's 4 nails. Sometimes some of these contractors, when they put roofs on, they get really lazy and they don't put the right amount of nails. Okay, should just be 2 more nails. That's an issue. hold on. Let me tighten this. I don't know if, I'll make sure the camera's still getting this. Normally wear a hat when I'm doing these. The GoPro is slipping off my head. Okay, let me just double check, make sure that the angle's still good. You guys can still see me. Okay. One more nail. I got all of it. So now that I've removed the nails, broken the tar strips, yep, should just pop out. Wait just a second, Brent. I'm gonna take a picture. Always want to document every step of the way, overviews and close-ups. That's the trick also, when you identify the course of the shingle, you have a great place, a starting point to line everything up so everything lines up nice. So the closest color match we could get, this is a brand new shingle, 3-tab organic, 25-year shingle. We line it up. I don't need these gloves right now. These are kind of big. I'm gonna use some new nails. Those old nails were really rusted. Use some new nails. Okay, so let's do just one more time. I want to establish 45 degrees. That's 45 right there. Mag hatches are great because the way that you have to slap it down to set it, it matches the pitch of the roof, which is really important. And it takes far less hits with the hammer to set and then nail. See, if I had a snake, I'd be hitting this like 5 or 6 times to get it down because the pressure's here, but the nail head is there. So with this, it's like 1 to set and 1 to put all the way in. I'm not hitting the shingles. I'm not lifting them more than 45 degrees. Doing everything. That's a rusted nail. I don't want to use that one. I don't want to use any of these rusted nails. I want to use new nails for the homeowner. There we go. Putting the nails right at about the sure strip as well. It's the right place to hit them. That's a bent nail. We don't want to use that one. There we go. That was a pesky one. Might have hit a stud. As you can see, I'm not lifting these shingles more than a 45-degree angle. My nails are matching the pitch of the roof, and we're not blowing them through the shingle. There we go. Let me hit that one more time. There we go. So now we've got that set. We take another picture because the new shingle has been fastened to the roof. Overviews and close-ups. So I can see consequential damage that has happened as a result of the repair, but before I show you how I know that, I want to establish another baseline. So I've heard some adjusters say in the past that if you lift a shingle, any shingle, past a 45-degree angle, you will have granule loss. That is not the case. When shingles are new, they're super pliable, there's a lot of tension. The asphalt is still really pliable, so they're first thing that we look at when we're looking for the matting will be fractured when a roof isn't repairable. So we can assume that because this is brand new that the matting is not fractured. Let's take our pivot point, our speed square. Let's go to a 45-degree angle. So that's a 45 right there. So when I let go, you see how slow it comes down? So that to me indicates that the matting is intact. Another way that you can test this too is when the matting's fractured, it causes the granules to dislodge, which is why we get creases. So if the matting is fractured, when I wipe my hands across the top, we'll see a crease start to form. Wiping my hands across the top, you can hear like I'm wiping really hard and putting a lot of pressure on the top. So this alludes to the fact that this matting is not fractured when lifted to a 45-degree angle. So we've already established that I haven't lifted the shingles any higher than that. But let's test the theory. So let's go a little higher. Let's go to a 65. That's a 65-degree angle right there. Let it down. See the tension in there still. Wipe my hands across the top. Boom. Now let's do the magic number that adjusters always like to say we lift. Let's go to a 90. Boom, we're at a 90. See how slow it comes back down? The matting is intact. Wipe our hands across the top and look at that. So now we're looking at these shingles. Right here I can see a crease form, and I can also see some tearing. See right there in the top? You see that tearing? So that was an issue. Anytime there's a tear, it's an automatic failure. But look we can also see the crease formulating. When I lift this, it kind of feels like a sticky note flapping in the wind. You can see the line across the top. But if the matting is fractured, then the granules have dislodged. So when I wipe my hands across the top, we will see the crease form even larger. And look at that. And I didn't lift these shingles more than a 45-degree angle, so we can see that the matting is fractured. This feels like a sticky note. So when I drop it, it just pops down. Drop it, just pops down. We can see right here, we've got another crease formulating as well. I feel this, feels like a sticky note. This is not a 45-degree angle right here. Drop it, smacks down. Look at that. Creasing forms. So we've got creasing and tearing on this one, and we've got creasing right here. Let's go right here to this one. You can see the beginnings of a crease. That could be thermal blistering, so let's feel this. So it feels like a sticky note. We wipe our hands across the top and look at that, boom. So the matting is fractured. And it's not at the top, so you know that I didn't lift these more. These are about an inch down. That's about as high as I lifted it. So the matting is fractured as a result of the repair. You can see, let's look right here. So there's not a lot of tension, but I wipe my hands across the top of this one, and I wouldn't consider this one a crease. So I'd say this one passed. This one, it feels like a sticky note. Let's wipe our hands across. I can see a crease. That's a stretch though. I'm gonna say this one's a pass. This one's a fail, this one's a fail, this one's a fail. Let's look at this one. You can see the crease. Wipe our hands across and look at that. Look at all the granules dislodged. You can see, boom. So that's a problem. Actually, it's like when I stand up, that looks like it's failed too, but let's just, for argument's sake, let's say that that one passed. Yeah, when I look at it in the pictures, it does look like it failed. Okay, so the issue is in an effort to fix this wind damage shingle right here, we have created 4 more tabs that have been damaged as a result of the repair. We know that I didn't lift these above a 45. I used industry standard tools and proper technique in replacing the shingles, and they've damaged nonetheless. So what we do